With Pacta Learning, Alain Stevens offers a range of dedicated online courses under the name Pacta Business, specially designed for entrepreneurs and business leaders. These courses focus on key skills such as the use of artificial intelligence, SEO, content generation, and automation, all essential for propelling a business in the current economic landscape. The goal of Pacta Business is to provide practical and accessible tools to develop your business while remaining affordable and engaging. With over 25 years of experience in strategy and computer science, Alain Stevens brings a depth of knowledge and a strategic perspective to each training module, ensuring that every participant can maximize these learnings to innovate and excel in their field.
Okay, so AI. It's like the buzzword of the century, right? Everywhere you turn, someone's talking about AI.
It's true. AI is definitely having a moment.
It really is. But let's be honest, it can be a lot to take in. So today, we're doing a deep dive to try and cut through the hype.
Sounds like a plan.
We're going to look at what AI can actually do, particularly focusing on the work of Alain Stevens.
Interesting. I'm familiar with some of his work. He's got Pacta Learning, right?
You got it, Pacta Learning. And we're also going to tap into some info from his website, see what he's up to over there.
Great. And to make sure we don't get too caught up in the hype, we've got that academic source too.
Exactly. Got to keep it real. So Alain Stevens, this guy's been involved with AI for, get this, over 25 years.
That's impressive. He must have seen it all.
Right. Not just jumping on the bandwagon here. And what I found really interesting about Pacta Learning is they're all about making AI accessible.
Accessible how?
Well, they're not just talking to tech giants or AI specialists. They're saying, hey, no matter what you do, AI can make your life easier.
Okay, I like where this is going. I think a lot of people could get behind that.
Totally.
Yeah.
And they break it down to these really practical areas like automation. I know, robots taking over the world and all that.
Yeah, that's usually the first thing that comes to mind.
Right. But they frame it in a way that's like, okay, what if AI could take over those tedious tasks you dread? Imagine no more sorting through endless emails or trying to wrangle everyone's schedules for a meeting.
Now that's an AI I could get behind.
Right. And it goes beyond just those everyday tasks. He teaches businesses how to use AI for things like customer service. Imagine if you could have an AI that could analyze all those inquiries and automatically send them to the right person.
Streamlining the whole process. Saves time, saves money, makes everyone happier in the end.
Exactly. And then there's the whole data thing. Everyone's talking about big data, but what do you do with all that information? Pacta Learning helps you use AI to make sense of it all.
So it's not just about collecting data, it's about using it effectively.
Yes. They call it data-driven decisions, which, okay, maybe a bit of a buzzword.
Sure. But the underlying concept is what matters.
Absolutely. And they give examples like, imagine you have an online store. AI can look at your traffic, your sales, what people are clicking on, even what they're saying about you on social media.
And use all of that to give you insights into what's working and what's not.
Exactly. So you're not just guessing, you're making informed decisions based on, well, data. And you know what else people struggle with.
Let me guess, getting their work out there. Visibility online.
You read my mind. And that's where Stevens' training really dives deep. He's got a whole thing on using AI for SEO and content creation.
Interesting. So we're talking beyond just keyword stuffing, I hope.
Oh, way beyond. Think AI tools that can analyze what your audience actually wants to read, help you tailor your content, even automate parts of the writing process.
Wow. That's a game changer for anyone who creates content.
Right. Like having a whole team of marketing gurus at your fingertips, but without the hefty price tag.
I can see why people are excited. This is really putting the power of AI into the hands of everyday users.
And that's not even getting into the creative side of things. Wait till you hear what Stevens is doing with AI for artists, musicians.
Okay, now you've got my attention. This is I've got here.
Okay, so we talked about AI for business, right?
Okay.
But hold on to your hats because Stevens doesn't stop there. This is where things get really wild. He's teaching people how to use AI for, like, the creative stuff.
Really?
Well,
I'm intrigued, but color me skeptical. Like, what does that even look like?
We're talking about AI that can help you make movie trailers. Movie trailers.
Wow, okay. I did not see that coming.
Right. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. He's also teaching people how to use AI for voice modification, even composing music. It's like, I don't know, AI is suddenly our artistic collaborator or something.
I think you hit on something important there. It's like this shift is happening where AI isn't just for the techie people anymore. It's becoming more accessible to, well, everyone.
Exactly. And Stevens seems to be right there on the front lines making it happen.
Which is exciting, but it does raise questions too. Like, if everyone can use AI to make art, does that change what we consider good art?
Oh, that's deep. I like it.
It's a question worth pondering. Will we start seeing AI-generated paintings in art galleries? Will the next chart-topping hit be composed by an AI?
Okay, those are some pretty mind-blowing scenarios. I mean, part of me is like, bring it on. Let's push those creative boundaries. But then another part of me is a little, I don't know, uneasy.
It's understandable. It's uncharted territory in a lot of ways.
So how do we navigate this new world where AI can write a song in seconds or create a logo with a few clicks? I mean, what happens to artists and musicians and designers? Do they become obsolete?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I don't think there's an easy answer. But I will say this. Right now, AI is a tool. Just like a paintbrush or a musical instrument, it's only as good as the person using it.
Okay, that's a good point. So it's not about replacing human creativity. It's more about enhancing it.
Exactly. AI can give us new ways to express ourselves, to explore new ideas, to create things we might never have imagined otherwise.
I like that. It's not AI versus humans. It's AI and humans working together, pushing each other further.
Precisely. Though this does bring up another important point. We keep saying AI like we all know exactly what that means.
True. We've talked about what this AI can do, but what exactly is it? It's like we hear AI and we think like futuristic robots or something.
Right, like something straight out of a movie, but it's more complicated than that,
No, that's what I'm getting from this academic source we have. It's like, hold on, AI isn't this one thing you can easily point to. It's more like a whole field of study.
Exactly. And the goal of this field, to put it simply, is to replicate human thought, which is, a pretty big goal.
No kidding. So how's that going for them? Have they cracked the code yet?
Well, not exactly. This source talks about how AI has had these boom and bust cycles. It gets really hyped up, promises the world, then doesn't quite deliver, and things quiet down for a while.
Okay, so like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
Up and down, up and down.
Pretty much. And it makes you wonder, where are we on that roller coaster right now?
Because it feels like we're in another boom period. Everyone's talking about AI, investing in AI. It's everywhere you look.
It definitely is. And that brings us back to Elaine Stevens. Is he part of this current AI boom, or is what he's offering something different?
Yeah, when you put it that way, it makes you think. Because we've been talking about all these amazing things Stevens is doing, but how much of it is really new? How much of it is like actually going to change things in the long run?
Right, because the technology itself is only part of the equation. It's how we use it that matters. And what's interesting about Stevens is he's not just focused on the tech. He's focused on the practical applications.
So he's not just selling a dream, he's giving people the tools to actually do something.
Exactly. Whether it's automating tasks in their business or, composing a symphony with AI.
So it all comes down to being smart about how we use AI, right? Understand what it can do, but also what it can't do.
And what role we want it to play in our lives, because AI isn't going anywhere. If anything, it's only going to become more integrated into everything we do.
So what's the takeaway here? What do we want our listeners to remember from all of this?
AI is a powerful tool, but like any tool, it can be used for good or for, well, not so good. The real question is, what do we want to build with it? What kind of future do we want to create?
That's a pretty profound question to end on. I like it. It's not just about understanding AI. It's about shaping how AI shapes us. And with that, we're wrapping up this deep dive into the world of AI. We've covered a lot of ground today, from automating businesses to composing symphonies. And if you're curious to learn more about Elaine Stevens and all the cool things he's doing, be sure to check out the links in our show notes. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll catch you next time.
With Pacta Learning, Alain Stevens offers a range of dedicated online courses under the name Pacta Business, specially designed for entrepreneurs and business leaders. These courses focus on key skills such as the use of artificial intelligence, SEO, content generation, and automation, all essential for propelling a business in the current economic landscape. The goal of Pacta Business is to provide practical and accessible tools to develop your business while remaining affordable and engaging. With over 25 years of experience in strategy and computer science, Alain Stevens brings a depth of knowledge and a strategic perspective to each training module, ensuring that every participant can maximize these learnings to innovate and excel in their field.